Quick one this week, Bears fans, as we have the holiday leading up to the Black Friday game versus the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. But before we get to all of that, I want to start off with a huge thank you to all of you that follow all of us here at Bear Era. The Bears have been a welcome surprise this year under Ben Johnson. We're always excited to share our insights into this team with all of you. Wouldn't be able to do that without your support and your support of our sponsors, of course. I hope you have a great holiday, however you celebrate, and thank you. The Bears had yet another fourth quarter comeback, their fifth of this season already. This time the victim was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh created enough on offense to win, but couldn't get a stop on defense when it mattered. The Bears scored in every quarter of this game to rack up 31 points, and their injury-riddled defense did just enough on the back end to come out with a 3-point victory. The health of the linebacking core is obviously going to be an issue going forward, but the secondary looks to get a welcome return of reinforcements in the form of one Jalen Johnson and possibly Kyler Gordon as well. That will make a huge difference going forward. Linebacker, they're just going to have to patch it together as they go. They're down to their fifth and sixth linebackers at this point. No team wants to be there, but it's a long season in the NFL, and attrition happens to everybody. As far as the game against the Eagles, this one is fascinating. Black Friday football in Philadelphia, and the Eagles' offense is struggling. They are currently ranked 25th in success rate, their lowest ranking 12 weeks into the season in the last 20 years. So it's been a couple of decades since the Eagles' offense has had this much trouble finding their footing. They're 31st in passing yards. They're 17th in total points per game. Just for reference, Chicago is currently 8th. Philadelphia has injury concerns as well. They just lost safety Andrew Makuba, who is a rookie sensation, to a fractured ankle, so he's out. Devonta Smith and Brandon Graham were not participants in the Tuesday practice. Normally that wouldn't be as big of a deal if we were talking about a Sunday game, but we're talking about a Friday game here, so it's unlikely that either of those guys will play. Landon Dickerson and Lane Johnson were both listed as questionable. If I had to guess, they will both go. Offensive linemen, extremely tough. They're going to go if they absolutely can at all. But overall, some key players for Philadelphia not playing in this one. And again, their offense has not been able to generate a ton of points. If Chicago gets those players back in the secondary, I think the Bears have a chance to hang with the Eagles until late in this one. And if you'd asked me that before the season, it would have seemed crazy. Defending Super Bowl champs, the Bears coming off, well, we're all aware of what the Bears were coming off of. I wouldn't have thought this game would have been an even contest, but it feels like Chicago, if they play a clean football game, and I can't stress this enough, they're going to have to stay away from early mistakes. This team has found a way to rebound over and over again, but against Philadelphia, that margin's going to be a lot smaller. So no stupid plays, no turnovers early on in the game. Stay away from self-inflicted penalties as much as you can, and I think the Bears can hang with the Eagles, be with them late in this game, and once you get there, this Chicago team is an absolute killer in the final 4 or 5 minutes. They understand. Let me change that. They believe that they are going to win, and they have found a way to do it over and over again more often than not. If they get into that situation, watch for this on the game on Friday. If they are even down the stretch into the final 5 or 6 minutes, even though they're on the road in a hostile environment, I would not bet against this team in that particular scenario. So it should be a lot of fun. Enjoy the holiday, enjoy the football, and now I'll turn you over to Ciaran.
Hey guys, it's Ciaran from the Bear Era podcast. Before I get into this, I just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving to all of our listeners. I hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe and enjoy all the food that you're going to get, and hopefully we get to watch a Bears victory against the Philadelphia Eagles on Friday. But we're here for this video talking about the Bears versus Steelers. Myself and EJ this week don't have a live stream because, again, it's Thanksgiving. Give you guys a little bit of a break. Enjoy your families. But we will be back after the Eagles game. But until then, I just wanted to give my thoughts on the Steelers versus Bears matchup. It was a very interesting one, obviously, early on in the game. Bears didn't have a great start. Looked a little bit ropey in terms of the linebackers or lack thereof. And it made it a little bit easier for the Steelers to both run. Again, they were able to get the ball down the field, but the Bears still remained opportunistic on defense. We saw Nashawn Wright. It seems like we're talking about this every single week. A hell of a catch, a hell of an interception, flip the field and allows the Bears to score. Again, the Bears did just enough. If they started off pretty well, obviously going 7-0 up, but then the remainder of the first half, they struggled. Caleb struggled, and it was a little bit worrying, but they found a way to still be in the game at halftime, and then they came out of the second half and looked very good. Caleb Williams, I think, in the first half was very up and down, had some good series, had others where he made big mistakes. So his biggest mistake of the year was probably that sack fumble in the end zone and giving the Steelers a touchdown. It's not something that we're used to. Maybe it's a little bit of Caleb making that little bit of a mistake, trying to be the hero, rather than playing within structure and playing within the system, getting the check down. If he does that, he probably doesn't have to take that sack. And I guess you live and die with the way Caleb is able to evade pressure. We talk about it each and every week that it looks fantastic what he's able to do, and we praise him. But that is the risk. When you come up against a defensive line that has guys like TJ Watt, it can happen. And it did. And it put the Bears on the back burner, but they were still able to overcome it, both with Ben Johnson in the second half, the adjustments that the Bears were able to make, getting touchdowns from DJ Moore, getting touchdowns from Colston Loveland, Kyle Monongai. You have Ozzie Trapillo coming in as your left tackle, and really looking like he hasn't, like there was no drop off. And not even that there was no drop off, I think he performed better in terms of a pass protection than what we've seen from Theo Benedette over the last couple of weeks. For me, Theo Benedette has been really, really good in terms of his run blocking and mauling guys, and he's been fantastic in the run game. But the obvious signs were when he was one-on-one with the opposing edge rusher, he struggled big time. Ozzie didn't. The offensive line looked really, really good. I know like there was pressure obviously with the strip sack and things like that, but that's just TJ Watt. That can happen. He was going up against Darnell Wright, who got beat. It'll happen. But for the most part, the Bears' offensive line looked good. You even saw Jonah Jackson go out and Luke Newman come in, and he still didn't, there was no drop-off. And that is a really good sign, because if Jonah Jackson comes back, you know you have a guy that can come in behind and play well. And you hope that that can continue to happen with some of these guys that they'll end up drafting in day 2, day 3, that they can just come in and it looks like they don't miss a beat. And that means your offensive line has consistency. There's protection for your quarterback, and it will allow your offense to function, and that's exactly what happened. So big ups to the offensive line. I thought they're fantastic. Defense, it was a tough game. There's no qualms about it. When you are missing your starting linebacking core, the vast majority of your backup linebacking core, most your starting corners, realistically your backup corners as well, it's always going to be a tough game. And they stepped up. Montez Sweat stepped up. He got his sacks. He got a strip sack as well. Allowed the Bears to flip the field and score. And overall, I think they had a really good game. They don't make it easy for us, but they ended up winning the football game. They get to 8-3, and that's really the most important thing. And yeah, it's great that the Bears have been able to do that. It kind of means this game against the Philadelphia Eagles on Fridays, they can just go for it, because they're at 8-3 now. They're in a really good position. You win 2 or 3 games and you're probably guaranteed to be a playoff team. And look, we all would have taken that at the beginning of the year. If they can somehow beat the Philadelphia Eagles, who have not been on a good run either. They just lost to the Dallas Cowboys, who the Bears have beaten. The Philadelphia Eagles have struggled. I know they've won games as well. They beat the Detroit Lions, but again, they haven't looked very good doing so. And then losing to Dallas. So obviously it's going to be tough going away to the Philadelphia Eagles. There's a lot of things that they're going to have to clean up. I think the biggest key for the Bears is how healthy will they be? Will any of the linebackers come back? Will Kyler Gordon be back? Will Jalen Johnson be back? if JJ and Kyler come back and maybe they get one of the linebackers back, I know Tremaine Edmonds has gone on IR, but if TJ comes back or Noah Sewell comes back, at least it makes it more capable. Because if you have to play guys, look, DeMarco Jackson was good, but if you have to play him or Agbon Bamiga or some of the other guys that have been called up from the practice squad against the Eagles, like Saquon Barkley will be able to run all over this team, and that puts the Bears at a big disadvantage. When you've guys like Jalen Hurts and Saquon that can run the football, like if you can't stop that, then you really do limit your ability to win these football games. But look, they've been able to find ways. The offense played well when they needed to. The defense played well when they needed to. The special teams played well when they needed to. And the Bears right now are doing enough to win. And that's all you can ask from this team. And ultimately, for me as a Bears fan, makes me very, very happy. And yeah, it's one of those that I hope that they continue doing what they're doing. I believe in this team. If they're in these games towards the end, you think that they are going to win. And that's great. The unfortunate part is so are the other teams in the NFC North other than the Vikings. And that's what makes Thanksgiving really interesting, with the Lions and the Packers playing against each other. That'll give the Bears a good idea of what they need to do on Friday. If they can settle their own score on Friday and win and go 9-3, the Bears are looking very, very good. And it'll be the first time that they would have had a winning season in a very long time, or in a couple of years. And at least that's a positive step forward in the first year of Ben Johnson. And we're seeing positives all around the field. There's still loads to work on, which is probably good for the coaches, but also this team needs to start getting healthier. If they can get healthier and start improving on some of those areas, this team will be spoken about as a team to watch, especially if those guys get back for the playoffs. And that's what makes this season so enthralling for us as fans, because it's something we didn't really expect this year. Maybe we expected it next year, but ultimately I was ecstatic with the game against the Steelers, that we were able to win that football game, and it puts us in a position now that this is just a game you go for against the Philadelphia Eagles. It's not like a must win. It's one of those games where no holds barred, just go for it. And don't be worried about losing. Just be aggressive and see what you can do against the Super Bowl champions on Friday in their home patch. And if you can come away with a win, boy, will that give the fan base and boy, will that give this team confidence that they can continue this winning streak going. Again, 8 wins in 9 games. Very, very difficult to do. I'm proud to be a Chicago Bears fan. I hope all of you guys are who listen to us over on Bear Era. I can't wait for our next live stream after the Eagles game with EJ. But again, I hope all of you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving. And until next time, bear down.
What is going on, friends? Welcome in to this edition of Mike on the Mic here on the Bear Era podcast. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. We really appreciate you making us a part of your day. And it's not just appreciation. It is a heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you who lets us join you weekly here on the Bear Era podcast. EJ, Ciaran, myself, and all the faces you see here do a lot of work outside of Bear Era. And we are part of a lot of different communities. And the amount of support and love you guys have shown us over these last 2 seasons is something that we don't take for granted. And we are eternally grateful to you, the Bear Era fan, for being so supportive and helping us grow this thing we love. And we hope to do so much more. And we hope to do some playoff football. The Bears beat the Steelers, and now they have a Black Friday date against the Philadelphia Eagles. The defense is banged up, and yet they found a way to win. They still are getting takeovers. Can Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson upset the defending Super Bowl champions? So much goodness this holiday weekend, this Thanksgiving weekend, and we hope you guys enjoy it, whether it's by making some extra cash at work, by eating some delicious food, or just enjoying some company with some friends, family, or just some football. Either way, enjoy your Thanksgiving, and thank you guys so much for all the support here on the Bear Era podcast. For EJ Snyder, for Ciaran Hall, for Nick, Arif, Tom, and for myself, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving. We will see you next week here on the Bear Era podcast.